so I tried to go in front. So hey everyone, how you doing? This is going to be an interesting one because it's been 2.5 years since I last kind of posted one of these ride videos really. So yeah, well, why did this kind of happen? So obviously with the pandemic and kind of everything that's been going on, I've been socially distancing, just because really it sort of seemed like the right thing to do. And then when the restrictions did lift here in the UK, I wasn't actually a paid up member at that point of the club because I'd let my membership lapse. So yeah, even when there was opportunity, it didn't really feel right trying to sort of steal somebody's place. If I'd not kind of been paying the membership or just whatever, really just not, I guess, sort of contributing the time, so it didn't really seem too fair. But anyway, all that now seems to be at an end, thank God. I've done the decent thing, paid my membership, even got myself one of the club jerseys, one of the new ones, so one of the ones that you can see there. So this video is about 15 minutes, give or take. We'll see how we go. If I run out of things to kind of talk about, then I'll probably shut up and just let everybody listen to the sort of wind rushing, sound of free hubs, all that good stuff. So probably a little bit about this route would be probably the right place to start, and then also the group. So this group's been pretty consistent on the last sort of month and a half on the occasion. So this is the Sunday morning group ride with Ilkeston Cycle Club. Yeah, and the group's been pretty consistent. I know there's a couple of the guys have kind of had to work, or even myself when the route isn't sort of favourable to me, and that isn't that I'm picking my stages or anything like that. But if the club kind of go out the opposite direction to where home is, and I haven't really got the time to kind of add an extra, 30 or 40k on worst case scenario, then yeah, I've kind of missed that and just gone out on my own. But otherwise, yeah, decent group, and as I say, pretty consistent. So this route had a bit of an unexpected surprise, probably about 40k from the end, and that's Beacon Hill. I don't know whether the video of me riding up Beacon Hill is actually still on the channel or not. I probably should have checked this. But just by coincidence, I actually rode up Beacon Hill, having designed my own route, I think it was about a week ago, probably last weekend actually before this, thinking about it. I managed to set a PR on that, which I was really pleased about for a whole load of reasons that I won't go into on this video. But yeah, so it was an unexpected surprise, because when I first looked at the route, it looked as though we actually turned off maybe 100 to 200 meters, kind of as the climb, given the approach that we took. Yeah, it looked like we actually turned off, but of course when we get there, and unfortunately you won't hear it on this because I've kind of removed the audio, but one of the guys even, shit, the screen's gone red. I thought, oh, okay, yeah, well, in which case we're going to the top. So, for people who live in kind of the Alps, Pyrenees, even some of the other sort of more challenging climbs, even in the UK, Beacon is not on that level. But for us around here, where it's pretty easy, and I've said this 100 times before, pretty easy to find a 100-mile route really that's practically pan flat. Beacon does present a bit of a challenge. So it's about 1.8k in length in total. That's kind of the steepest part of the climb, but there is also a route which tends to be the one that I do, which actually bumps it up to around about the 5 to 5.5k kind of limit. It tends to have a lot of sort of false flats in it, smaller little peaks, but then of course by the time you get to the main point or the main part of the climb, it's kind of energy sapping really. So that was pretty good. Fortunately, I did manage to record that as well, but I have cut it out from this just simply because, given the climb's about 10 to 12 minutes, I've edited it out. There is a pretty funny part in this, but if you want to see kind of the full thing, and I'm probably speaking more to the club members and to the guys who are on this ride, then I'm going to post that as a separate video. There's a couple of the guys who are kind of hanging out at the front as well, but otherwise for everybody else, yeah, sorry, it's pretty small audience, which is one of the reasons why I actually cut it out. Here's a bit of a taster of it actually, because we're just about to take a left to join the climb, and one of the guys who's actually ride captain, Jeff, pretty sure he was winding everybody up, but yeah, decides to attack us at the bottom, and I even made the comment he's going to regret that in a minute, and I think this was probably the last time I saw Jeff on here, until we sort of came down the other side. But there he goes. Awful lot of fun. It was a really good route. It gave me opportunity to, not only get out for a bit of a social, having cycled on my own when I could, when I wasn't sort of carrying that injury last year, but it's been, well, this was a decent ride, but then also kind of the last 6 weeks or so when I've been able to get out, it's been really good, really enjoyable, and a good opportunity really to kind of mix things up after that long slog, which I know has been a slog for everybody else, but this also makes for hopefully slightly more interesting content as well. And I was a little bit cheeky this morning because I think a couple of the guys, in fact I know a couple of the guys in the group had kind of clocked the camera, probably wondering what I was going to do with it. So I don't know whether I should have got people's permission or not, but I did drop a cheeky little message in the group this morning just to say, within the next 24 hours, if you fancy just watching yourself ride a bike, then I'll drop the link and we'll see how it all goes. What else? What else is going on? So, got a bike fit this weekend, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a second. So, I am riding my Roubaix team edition here as well, which is practically, give or take a couple of rides, when I think once I went out on the Diverge, a couple of times been out on my Venge Vias, but otherwise I'm practically riding the Roubaix 100% of the time. I want that to change, but I just find this bike so comfortable, not only in terms of kind of the road buzz, but just the position. If you want to just back off a little bit, it just kind of ticks along quite nicely. If you want to give it a nudge, then it just responds. I'm so impressed with a bike that is, at the end of the day, a Roubaix. A lot of people have said to me that it's a nice looking bike. That was kind of an unexpected positive for me. I never really thought that a Roubaix would be a nice looking bike, and so it just so happens that it rides really nice, and yeah, it looks pretty good as well. What else was I saying? Oh yeah, so bike fit. So I've had a couple of fits actually on my Venge Vias, but and I did talk about this in a video that I posted in the last couple of weeks. As a result of the Roubaix, because of the position that I'm in on that bike and how comfortable it is, it just made my Venge feel too upright, and to be honest, sluggish as hell. I mean, it's still, corners like a demon, and it's really nice in that sense, but it just seems to lack a bit of oomph in sort of flat ground speed. Bear in mind it's got bigger gears on it, and yeah, there's just a whole load of stuff where that bike should be quicker and feel quicker than my Roubaix does. So I'm back on Saturday for a bike fit, and then all being well, it's probably going to be Venge, dare I say, for a couple of weeks. Also looks like, and this has been unexpected and just hasn't happened really over the last couple of months. The UK summer, in fact the back end of spring and the start of summer, shocking. Really inconsistent, but hopefully it looks like we've turned a corner, because as of tomorrow, so that'll be whatever it is, Wednesday the 14th of July, looks like we're in for kind of a week, 10 days. So all being well with a bike fit, be back out on Sunday, hopefully with a group, and yeah, give me opportunity to get a longer ride in on the Fenge Vias, because it's been quite a while. So, but I mean, that's only part of it. Hopefully, the rest of these guys, at least the majority, managed to get out as well, and it's a route that kind of suits me. So I'm not kind of miles and miles from home. There we go. So I'm probably going to wrap this up here, because I think I've talked enough. So let's get a little bit of free hub and kind of wind in the hair, or wind blowing over the microphone more like. There's a bit of an interesting bit coming up at the moment. There was a crash, in air quotes. There's a really fast bit of road. I'm going to try and do this now really quickly, but there's a fast bit of road, which is where we're going to turn onto in around about 2 minutes time. And right at the bottom of this road, so right at the end, probably, I don't know, maybe 200 meters before you kind of get to a junction, there's a couple of really tight sort of hairpin corners. Now I'm going to take those out because it's really just not good viewing. But essentially, one of the guys kind of ended up, having to bail. I think he locked up, and yeah, he kind of ended up going on a small gravel path and then into brambles, I think it was. Weirdly, he was absolutely fine, or luckily he was absolutely fine. I think his bike was unscathed apart from the puncture, and to be honest, I think his birthday made him lucky that day, because yeah, I know if that had been me, that would probably have been biking too, and he had been bleeding from kind of everywhere. So nice, nice sort of happy outcome with that one, and yeah, fortunately changed the puncture and managed to ride home, as far as I'm aware. So good news. So yeah, there we go. Right, I'll shut up. I'll wrap things up. Hope everybody enjoyed watching this, and yeah, look out for the beacon video. I'll try and make that one a little bit more entertaining if I can.
I know it.
Yeah.
Not really.